Welcome, everybody. You know what we do around here. Before we get into any of the nonsense, we riff. Come on. We've got a part in here where I like you to mosh in your living room, and this happens to be it.
Scale is another important yardstick of despotism.
I hope I remember what my
set
set
list is. It gauges the citizens' share in making the community's decisions.
Let's do it though.
Communities which concentrate decision-making in a few hands rate low on a power scale and are moving towards despotism. Like France under the Bourbon kings, one of whom said, "The state, I am the state." Today, democracy can ebb away in communities whose citizens allow power to become concentrated in the hands of bosses.
I want you to drop your favorite mosh move in the chat.
What I say goes.
Your windmill kicking.
I'm the law around here.
You throwing down?
I see some ways to go. To see the C-suite, you're a company man. Throwing policies and that's an elite acquisition. But it bent you over to assume the position. Typically employees wait for prosperity. They're desperate for a taste. So they show their respect to the man with the check. Even though the fucker is just corporate waste. Corporate waste. Lies! corporate greed, obsessed with crime, more human compassion, and more fucking rock.
Let's save the talk. Can't we agree that capitalism is an economic system? A system for the production and distribution of things we need and want?
I won't agree to that. Not until you say something about government, too. There has to be a legal basis for any economic system to operate.
Well, it's easy to see that you have different ideas of what capitalism is.
So it's about hentai gotcha
Maybe
games.
we should talk about what it is not. It is not a system of strict governmental control and planning in which a dictator or board tells people what jobs they may hold and what goods they may produce.
And it's not a system of government ownership. Let me tell you about something. It shows that the basis of the capitalistic system is
commodification.
They must commodify a goon. Give the wife who will a spin. Now your credit score is mine. Sex sells. So what's next? Anything to get your check. Paint your basis of desires. Set your finances on fire. Interpretation of the code. The agency's word stays the same. Your life, break your brain. Make sure you're fully objective. Trading funds of your ejected. Trading funds that keeps you budget. Lady luck will be your wife. Find your ways of chance. It's a fucking capitalism goof.
Take Joe, for example. He came, as many of the recruits do, from a small town in Michigan. He was looking for a life that would give him the feeling of being worthwhile. Every effort is made to select the finest men. He learned to use all types of firearms and spent many hours in target practice. In commando practice, cadet officers learn how a group of men working as one can be an effective wedge between destructive mobs and the peaceful citizen and his property. Some of the police academy work was fun, like the day Joe volunteered to be a guinea pig for a polygraph or lie detector test. But when the machine showed he was lying, just for fun of course, he readily admitted that the polygraph had outsmarted him. Then came that great day when Joe first put on his new uniform. Oh, it wasn't an important arrest, and Joe wasn't a hero. But for the first time, he felt as though he really was a police officer.
Guys know System of a Down? Come on. Following the rights movement, you clamp down with your iron fist. Drugs become conveniently available for all the kids. Following the rights movement, you clamp down with your iron fist. Drugs became conveniently available for all the kids. What about my crack, my smack, my gun right here in the USA? Nearly 2 million Americans are incarcerated in the prison system of the U.S. You clap down with your iron fist. Drugs became conveniently available for all the kids. Following the right movements, you clap down with your iron fist. Drugs became conveniently available for all the kids. What about my crack, my smack, and my gun? Right in the USA. Percentage of Americans in the prison system has doubled since 1985. Trying to build a prison. 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 For you and me to live. Another prison system. Another prison system. Another prison system. For you and me to live.
Successful research in drug policy shows that treatments should be increased and mandatory minimum sentences decreased.
Utilizing drugs to pay for victim drugs around the world. Drugs are now your global policy, and you police the globe. Without my right here in the USA.
National Bring Your Kids to Work Day. My job at the White House is to communicate the president's message. We are here to make America great again. And we live in the best country in the history of the world. Want to know if I also like many hugs to children. How many people has he fired? We have not had anyone fired. What's the state of the border?
Civil rights groups say last week's deportations included 3 American children, all U.S. citizens. One of them is battling cancer. Parenting 101. And by the way, I never went to the island, and Bill Clinton went there supposedly 28 times. I never went to the island, but Larry Summers, I hear, went there. He was the head of Harvard. I never had the privilege of going to his island.
Children away
when
from
it
the
comes to
president.
Tim Pool, I would expect nothing less than absolute waste. When information regularly goes to die in Tim's pool of shit.
There's a place where thoughts go to die under the safety of the peace supply.
All right, this is a little bit of a ripper. Do you guys know who Tim Pool is? He's a guy who eats pool.
Tim Pool of shit, intellectual boy, the dullest of wits, comes with the noise every night, and all you need to do is lick the mood of the right surf. Tim Pool of shit, shifting no movements have nothing on it. Present authorities for the honest bit, crippling bare like the skin of his head. Whoever appeals to the law gets his still man is either a fool or a coward. Something happens naturally. That's about it when you're swimming around in this bullshit. Bullshit.
Alright, this is a new one, everybody. This is from my latest video essay. If you haven't watched it out, go check it out. This one's called American as Hell. Let's do it.
It's American as hell. It's American as hell. Sensation, devastation. No more to trigger without hesitation. There's murder for the Fuhrer. When justice comes, we'll have peace on your burger.
You guys know Behemoth? This is like my little Behemoth part. I like that. So if you need to yell at this part. All right, everybody. Thank you. We will be right back with the news, so don't go anywhere. You get a snack or something like that, but don't go too far. We'll be right back.
It truly was the road. Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. It's me. I'm sorry. It's Hellion.Vision from the channel Hellion.Vision. Just wanted to let you know real quick that your style is bad. It's not good. It's really not good at all. But it's okay. I'm here to help. That's right. Designed by yours truly. It's time you got some clothes that riff as hard as you do, don't you think? Look at this fancy number right here. Look at this little number right here. Or how about this one? Yeah, you'd like to wear that, wouldn't you? Order this one, drape it over your nips, boom, it's Knitmas. In all sincerity, I had a lot of fun designing these clothes. I want to do it a lot more, and it's a great way to support the channel. Oh, wait a minute, handsome viewer, I forgot to tell you. Channel members get discounts.
fair folks, let me twist my knobs. You know we twist knobs up top. What is this? This is up top right now, so what do? We twist knobs. Let me knob it out. Okay, what is up? Everybody, welcome. Welcome to the greatest stream on Earth. Yeah. How you guys doing tonight? Are we all doing good? Oh, the ceiling's up. Every time I'm asking for it. Oh, there's a lasagna in the oven. There's kimchi going on. Excuse me, what? We're eating good tonight? Let me get a little bigger here. Woo-wee, we're eating good. We're eating nice tonight. Some creature you live with has summoned a unique move. That sounds like some Mario Tennis ass shit. Artichoke hearts. Let's go, everybody. Deliciousness. Oh, Akari, thank you so much for the $2. I appreciate that. Your work is important and your riffs are fucking awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That is very kind of you. Emerald Cat, what is up? Welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. All right, everybody. Welcome. Lizard, what is up? Let's go. Let's radicalize these cats. They must be radicalized. Because the cats, if the cats have their way, they're gonna go for that billionaire money. There's no doubt about it. All right, everybody, here's what we got on the docket for tonight, okay? I've got a loaded show for you. As always, you know I load you up. I wouldn't do that to you. So here's what we got. We're gonna go over the Epstein files a little bit. You know, we're not going crazy in depth, but we're gonna hit a timeline, okay? Because there's been so much shit that's dropped. Like at this point, I'm like, I gotta go and ask everybody like, who's your favorite? This is like Pokemon. Who's your favorite one of the 150 that just dropped in the latest Epstein release? So we gotta do that in a way that's like, you know, easy to digest. So that's what we're gonna do, okay? We're doing Epstein for Dummies. Doesn't that sound horrific? Also, I cannot stress enough. The strange timeline that we live in is doing some things right now. Okay? Oh, cauliflower. Oh, there's cauliflower crust talk going on. Okay. Oh, right. Yeah, smash that like button if you wouldn't mind. Thank you, writer. You know, throw a share around. You know, do whatever you want. I just dropped... Oh, let me plug myself live on camera. Before I do anything, okay? Let me expose my plug to you all. I just dropped a video on the criminals of ICE, the sex criminals of ICE, I should say, because most of their crimes are sexual in nature, and many of them are against children, which is sort of a lead up to my next video essay that's coming out. That is gonna be pretty interesting, I think. I've basically I've been trying to think of ways to kind of like rebuke the narrative that's been going on in Minnesota, right? Because like obviously guys like Nick Shirley have been using the whole fraud thing as a distraction, like the word cloaca. They've been using it as a distraction, obviously, and scapegoating like Somali people, and it's all to cover up their own fraud. It's all to cover up, you know, their own crimes and things like that.
So I was like, well, people aren't actually genuinely concerned about the money. It's not about the fraud for people because they're just making up numbers, in the billions, and it doesn't really make sense. So I was like, what is a proven entity that we could figure out the number for? So it's like probably police misconduct, right? That stuff is pretty well documented. So I found basically from 2019 to 2025, $5.6 billion in police settlements, police misconduct settlements. Much larger than any fraud that's been reported on. And so I've got a video about that coming out very soon. It's probably going to be out this upcoming week if we keep the speed up. What's up, Lily? Welcome. He doesn't even understand cloacae. You're absolutely right. My goodness. So yeah, that's sort of what's coming up next. So all that to say, if you haven't watched my previous video that I just dropped, please go check that out. Because it's pretty interesting. The people you should inform yourself on who's in your town. But anyway, besides that, we're going to do the Epstein files for dummies tonight. We're going to go over all the drops and an easy to understand timeline, okay? We're also going to go over a story about ICE, who brought a man into the hospital and they said he cracked his own skull. Okay? We'll see if that's actually the case. Somebody tried to break Luigi out with a pizza cutter. Obviously, we have to cover that. That's, we do not approve of any of these actions, but we need to, that's Italian. That's Italian as fuck. All right, so we got to talk about that. Also, all the social media companies are about to go to court to go on trial for youth addiction in regards to social media. So that's going to be something that's coming up very soon. Five Nights at Freddy's is in the Epstein files. It's a dense thing. So let's just start. Let's maybe start with the Antifa leader, because they are saying hilariously that they found the Antifa leader. We all know Antifa is not a real organization. The guy they chose could not look less anarchist. Which, obviously I don't care about what anybody looks. I just think it's hilarious that the guy they're trying to pin as the leader of Antifa is not like a crust punk looking dude, like, Kari, I don't know how the hyping system works. Just hype me live in person, like Flavor Flav style. Just hit me with a yeah boy anytime you're feeling so inclined. That'll really do it for me. Anyway, stupid. That's a stupid joke. So here's the leader of Antifa. You see this guy? You see this? Talking about this guy here? See him? See that? Is that what you thought the leader of Antifa was going to look like? You thought he was going to look like some Portland dude with some Portlandia character stuff with a septum piercing and a Bart Simpson t-shirt, didn't you? See, Akari's got the right idea. Hell yeah. Thank you. That's a hype. YouTube doesn't understand hype. Ajax, my man is, I will say, he's anti haircut. He's doing it himself. And we love him for that. Akari, I get that. That's for the old heads here. We like that. He looks AI. He doesn't even look AI. He looks human. He's got the blemishes of human. We love him. Why does he look like what ChatGPT would vomit what a white left-leaning teen would look like? I don't even think, I think this guy looks like so liberal. I don't think he looks like, anti, you picture the leader of the anti-authoritarian sector to be like, you know, a little different, a little more alt looking, I guess. You know, that's just me. Oh, Lizard said maybe they mistook anti-fascist and anti-fashion. Easy mistake to make. Oh, you pummeled him. You pummeled him with that one. I don't know if he even deserved it. And look, he matched his eyes to his shirt, all right? So, you know. Anyway, let's get a picture. Let's get a picture of right? He looks like the classic lib. Like, this is, I'm sorry, my guy, this is an AP history fella. He's AP history. The only reason I don't think this guy is still in high school is because, you know, that 5 o'clock shadow is a little too thick for high school. But anyway, this is from Ken Klippenstein, obviously the GOAT. We love Ken Clippy Clips, always on the money. So this is Chandler Patey, Chandler Patey, leader of Antifa, allegedly. Okay, 29-year-old Chandler Patey. Like, I'm sorry, my guy's 29. He doesn't even look 29. Random dad noises. Kari. Oh my God, you know it. I'm literally doing random dad noises. I am a random dad. Oh, he did Ajax 1000%. Chandler Patey is a mock trial GOAT. Okay? No doubt about it. I know, 29, right? 29-year-old Chandler Patey has been regularly protesting outside his local ICE facility in South Portland for months, offering up his apartment to fellow protesters to use the bathroom or wash off pepper spray, according to local news. Okay? So my man is letting people use the sink and the pisser. To the Department of Homeland Security, he is the leader of Antifa. That phrase appears in an internal report produced by the DHS, the largest law enforcement agency in the country. As they see it, Patty, a young man accused of no crime and who looks like a random protester plucked off the streets of Minneapolis, is a domestic terrorist. In Patty's apartment, Fox News hosts Laura Ingraham and Jesse Waters saw something sinister, an Antifa safe house, as they called it, in multiple segments. This kind of idiocy is hardly unprecedented by the standards of cable news, of course, but the federal government is buying into the hysteria too. Documents leaked to me show Patty and countless other American protesters have been branded as domestic terrorists. As a result, their private information is now being collected and stored in a DHS intelligence system shown below. Look at him. Chandler Patey was identified through open source research as an active participant in the protests. Online platforms indicate he is the leader of Antifa in Portland, Oregon. This information has not been confirmed. Patey is seen in many videos advocating the principles of Antifa. So, he did the old, you know, you guys come use the pisser, and now they're like, he's a terrorist. I don't know. I don't know what terrorism looks like to you guys, but it does not look like sharing your sink to me, personally. Okay? But, I am a little bit of a freak. What can I say? All right? Maybe I'm a weird guy. Maybe I'm just a weird guy. That might be me. Okay? When I was his age, my co-students were playing that Dirty Biscuit game. Oh, God. What a comment to just land on. Yeah, this guy's living downtown. Behold, a lady. You can't just reference that. I see you standing by the wall. Clap, clap, you deserve it all. Can't just be throwing Outcast references in the chat. Calm down with that, gang. All right? Holy moly, that's as distracting as cloacas. Asked about Patty's inclusion in the system and how this squares with spokesperson Trisha McLaughlin's response to my reporting on DHS watch lists that, quote, there is no database of domestic terrorists run by DHS. The Department of Homeland Security did not respond to a request for comment. So not true. So not true. Because the thing is, you gotta understand, Trump, he's so tight with Epstein. Epstein was he was the blackmail guy. All right, so I'm sure he picked up a couple of tips and tricks, and you know, now he's finding a way to just frame all this shit. Okay? Clap, clap. You deserve it all. The government's elevation of an ordinary citizen like Patty to terrorist mastermind is the result of a subtle A subtle bureaucratic process revealed in this and other DHS documents I've obtained. They show that since almost the beginning of the Trump administration, DHS has been desperate to pull together evidence, no matter how thin, of an epidemic of left-wing domestic terrorism. And I mean, really, at this point, can you even, like, if you bought into left-wing terrorism in the first place, the thing that cracks me up is, like, right-wingers will constantly be like, oh, man, yeah, leftist, first of all, they call everybody liberals, so they'll just be like, liberals, yeah, you're talking about the blue hairs who are chronically ill and afraid of everything and do participation trophies? Yeah. Okay, so if that's the general description of a leftist or a liberal, then, like, how also are they domestic terrorists? How are they violent in your eyes? My man here, I'm sorry, I see no I see no violence in this guy. Look at this guy. This is how you see him on the day-to-day. The government's, so the bureaucratic imperative to find terrorists among protesters is what got Renee Good and Alex Preddy killed. Oh, the character with blue hair from Life is Strange? That's Chloe. That's Chloe. AKA the bisexual awakening queen. AKA... No, that's basically, that's it. So the government's, so this bureaucrat, this Chloe, the blue-haired liberal, yes, exactly. The blue-haired liberal, Chloe Aka. God damn it. Yeah, but that's like the vision that they have. But, like, honestly, Chloe is, like, too strong of a character in it to even be, like, what they see liberals as. They see liberals as, like, weak blue hairs who like are chronically ill, be like, oh, I have a cough and it makes me exempt from gym. And then they're also like, those are the terrorists. Those immunocompromised gym skippers are terrorizing our country. I need a gun. Ajax, I want to see more Bioawakening with Tony. Oh, you will. We'll play more Life is Strange there. Don't worry. And Chloe's, I can't even explain. I can't spoil things that are coming up. Okay, I can't spoil things that are coming up. Okay, so anyway, the bureaucratic imperative to find terrorists among protesters is what got Renee Good and Alex Preddy killed. Customs and Border. Emerald Cat says, you gotta look harder. Maybe he has explosive pores or IBS. Incredible. Oh. Customs and Border Protection, as well as other DHS sub-agencies, are hard at work producing evidence to feed the domestic terrorism frenzy through the intelligence reporting system, Next Generation, IRS&G, a portal created to track foreign terrorists trying to sneak into America. As I've reported, there are so many databases, both to feed into and extract data from, that analysts need a separate reporting system to sort out what is known and who the potential targets should be. According to Department of Homeland Security records through IRS&G, federal agents can access at least 28 different databases the government maintains, including the terrorist screening dataset, the watch list service, secure flight passenger data, automated targeting system, importer security filing, and consignment manifests. Holy fuck. I mean, this is, I'm not gonna read every single one of these. Cause holy shit. This sounds, Social Security Administration Death Master File. That's a sick name. That's like a sick name for a song. Death Master File? I'm sorry. like a tech death metal song right there, that would be great. And if that's not enough, IRS-NG has access to DMV licenses, license plate data, information from electronic devices that have been confiscated or cloned, and, quote, certain law enforcement and or intelligence data, according to a DHS privacy impact assessment issued in the first week of the Trump administration. And, again, I'm just gonna remind everybody that ballroom is an AI data center. You cannot convince me otherwise. Satan Yahoo, a terrorist? Holy fuck, yes. I mean, yeah, like beyond. You know, it's ironic because these are mass murderers, like labeling a guy who lets you use the bathroom at his house as a terrorist, which is, you know, insane. Death Master File is incredibly appropriate for SS info, unfortunately. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And if that's not enough, IRS-NG has access to the DMV licenses. As Homeland Security agents and intelligence analysts gather information about the Chandler patties of the country, they use IRS-NG to track each individual, accessing all kinds of identifying information: legal name, aliases, birth date, social security number, passport number, home address, and biological information about their targets are all swept up. Yeah, this is crazy. Okay, so this is a screenshot. This is a screenshot from the leaked information that they're referencing. And it's literally saying the details of his apartment are that an apartment located at this address was used as a safe house for protesters. The apartment unit blank was recently raided and several arrests were made. So they actually raided the apartment. The legal occupant of the apartment, Chandler Patry, did they spell his name wrong? They spelled his name wrong. Holy fuck, that's incredible. The legal occupant of the apartment, Chandler Patty, was recently arrested outside the ICE detention facility. Open source reporting indicated Patty is the leader of Antifa in Portland. This has yet to be confirmed. I mean, what a crazy... the spin. We didn't even get to the spin part, but obviously the spin from Fox is always funny. Chandler Patty was identified through an open source research as an active participant in the protests. An IRS-NG entry about him says online platforms indicate he's the leader of Antifa in Portland. And the report continues, adding that he's seen in many videos advocating the principles of Antifa. Yeah, it does look like a D&D starter guide page, Akari. You're absolutely right. The low literacy rate is at the DHS. Oh, God. Lily, the low literacy rate is ravaging us. I mean, it's not like Trump can read. He just shit himself in the middle of that fucking meeting. He's not reading shit anymore. There's no way. Cognitively, he's pudding. There's nothing left. Online platforms, in other words, random shit they say or saw on X and Twitter, TikTok, or whatever. So that's what they're referencing as where they're seeing these videos or, you know, whatever Chandler Patty is saying. The same hysterics, it turns out, peddled by Fox News, whose host Laura Ingraham in October declared in a segment, Antifa safe house exposed, and Portland police looking the other way. I mean, just, it's so silly, but this is the shit they do. Laura Ingraham says, we've identified the Antifa ringleaders and turned everything over to the DHS. Portland police know where the safe house is. They're just steps away and still refuse to act. Who watches this shit? I mean, honestly, your brain must be scrambled eggs if you're watching Fox News. That's crazy. Portland police looked the other way because there wasn't much to see. Asked about his supposed safe house, a soft-spoken Patty let the local news in to see it for themselves. He says, this is my very normal apartment and has been referred to by right-wing social media grifters as the Antifa safe house, Patty told the Oregonian, but I just let people use my sink in my bathroom. Like, yeah, that's literally it. So ridiculous as all this might seem, Homeland Security officials tell me that many, if not most, federal agents have taken all the rhetoric about shadowy Antifa networks to heart. Yeah, I mean, considering that most of the federal agents they have out on the streets right now are like untrained fucking idiots. Yeah. Although, you know what? I gotta take that back. It's not even just the untrained idiots. It's also the guys who've been in there forever. Because look at who, look at who was just exposed as the killers of Alex Preddy. You know, it was not two white guys, you know? So it's pretty fucking crazy. And it was two guys who'd been with them, since like 2018 or something like that. They've been with them for a while. So Intel frequently has Alex Jones level paranoia and wild leaps about Antifa. One Homeland Security official told me, so-and-so has made threats and may be Antifa, such as such motorcycle club has Antifa loyalty. And all of this follows President Trump's designation of Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization and his related NSPM 7 directive. As DHS officials have described to me the bureaucratic nightmare of having to find a legal way to implement the patently outrageous directives of an elected president whom they feel they can't just ignore. I mean, I don't know. Everyone quit. I don't have much fucking sympathy for, like, you know, DHS officials who are still, like, doing their job and stuff. Like, at this point, quit your fucking job. I mean, you should have done it a while ago. You never should have fucking done this job, but, like, quit your fucking jobs at this point. Jesus Christ, you're just gonna blindly do fascism? You dummies. The government's belief that Antifa is an organized network is clear in many other DHS, IRS, NG documents about far more than just Patty. Here's another report about a so-called Antifa protester named Dustin Ragsdale, shown holding a pride flag while wearing sweatpants with the Batman logo on them. Holy shit. Like, this is just a dude chilling, okay? This is just a stoner. This is not a terrorist. This is just a guy who rips the fattest fucking bowls you ever seen. But don't let the seemingly innocuous demeanor fool you. He is, quote, aggressive to counter-protesters. And further research into him is being done, the DHS document says. Per the report, Dustin Ragsdale is an Antifa protester who, through open source research, lives across the street from the ICE detention center. He is often seen with a megaphone and is aggressive to counter-protesters. Further research is currently being conducted on this individual. Open source reporting has indicated he lives across the street from the ICE detention center. I mean, dude, he lives across the street from the fucking ICE detention center. This shit directly affects him so hard. Like, you think he's not going to be standing outside being like, hey, go the fuck home. You're making noise outside my house all the time doing fascism. Dustin's trying to get some fucking shut-eye. Holy moly. Oh, then there's Mossy Matriarch. You don't want to know about Mossy Matriarch. I almost feel bad telling you about Mossy Matriarch. This is a real leftist terror, real terror driver right here. Mossy Matriarch is the pseudonym of 30-year-old American woman and Washington State resident who works as a photographer. Dangerous. Terror. She's literally shooting people with a camera, but still shooting people. But where others might see an artist and small business owner, DHS sees a conspirator who's been advocating for people to drop supplies for the Portland protesters. To quote from its report, again, no crime is alleged. So per the report, okay. Now I will say before we read the report, she has a septum piercing, and that's a clear sign of an Antifa terrorist. Okay. Mossy Matriarch sounds like a Dom title, yeah. It sounds like a I don't know what it sounds like. A Dom title's pretty good. Mossy brings up some questions though, if that is the context. Where's the moss, you know? Yeah, love when they have to admit that protesting is not a crime. Literally. Where's my First Amendment? Where's my First Amendment, peeps? Come on. Nose piercing is clear lib shit. Absolutely, Ajax. I know a lib terrorist when I see one. They have a septum piercing every time. So Mossy Matriarch is a... Oh, Kermit, you just finished making spaghetti for your daughters? You prefer yours to grandma's? Stop trying to just make my heart melt right there. We love making pasta for the baby. Come on now, that's the good stuff. Spaghetti! All lesbians are terrorists. Yeah, I mean, honestly, in the eyes of the DHS right now, that's not too far from the truth. So, per the report, Mossy Matriarch is a social media influencer who is on numerous social media platforms, In recent posts, she's been advocating for people to drop supplies for the Portland protesters. She lists the address to mail supplies as P.O. Box 1603, Vancouver, Washington, 98661, or drop off supplies in person at the Cottonwood School. In a later post, she recorded all the supplies she had received and posted a video claiming to be driving these supplies to Portland and was to interview one of the organizers on her podcast. More like Terrorcast. See below some of her recent posts. Okay, this is leftist terrorist Mossy Matriarch. Okay? The following individuals have been identified as participants or supporters of the protests at the ICE detention center. Yeah. Yep. This is it. How can any of this stuff be listed as, like, a crime? How can you even pretend? It's literally just saying she lists the address to mail supplies as this P.O. box with the address, or to drop off supplies in person to school. What is that? Patty Ragsdale Matriarch. Those are the three. To the record keepers, they are the enemy, and applications like the IRSNG contain the repository of confirming information. Homeland Security even insists on crediting right-wing commentators with being open source intelligence. That's fucking crazy. Yo, they are... see, this is why, like, I've been trying to make some content that goes against the narrative that the Nick Shirleys of the world are making. Because, like, these motherfuckers are labeling goddamn right-wing grifters on YouTube as OSINT agents for them. Like, these motherfuckers are like, yeah, those are our open source intelligence. That's the, you know, we're gathering information from reliable sources on the ground. Holy moly. But there's no there. That is, except for the manufacturing of a further fractured American landscape and battlefield that Homeland Security believes it is operating on. With, quote, law enforcement sensitive stamped all over the documents, none of this would ever come out under the Freedom of Information Act or any formal channel. And forget about Congress, which seems more interested in scoring political points against administration figures like Kristi Noem than any systemic change to the Department of Homeland Security. There is me, of course, but I don't have corporate money. I just have readers like you. Become a paid subscriber. Bam, bam. That's the old Ken Klippenstein. Support him. So, this is who they see as the enemy. Not that we had any question about it. And at this point, you know, understand that they probably have all our information. They're probably getting the information of everyone that they need to. Like I mean, like, who is this Mossy Matriarch person? Come on. This is like this is a random person that they're just harassing with this shit. And it's not like anybody actually cares about it, because I mean the Democrats just agreed to fund more of ISIS shit. So it's not like they care. They have the same sort of interests, you know. Make the donors happy. Oh man. Yes, that article. The article of the sex toys being sent to the Navy was so good. All right, gang, let's break down this Epstein stuff, all right? Let's get into it. Because this shit, I know it's going to take us a second, and I don't want to end on it. I want to end on some of the good shit I have, or at least the funny shit. But I do want to suss out what the fuck's been going on, because holy moly guacamole, it's been crazy. So basically, we're gonna go through the Independence article here, and they lay everything out in a nice timeline. And we're gonna make this real simple, okay? Okay, we're not gonna go crazy. But we're going to get ourselves caught up with what's happening. Okay. Boom. Beauteous. Beauteous rot. All right, guys. So, this is everything, as we know it, starting from like a day ago, with a lot of the information gone out. Now, there's so many people referenced in this stuff. Jay-Z is referenced in it. I don't know if they cover that in this specific thing, but Jay-Z is referenced in an email. Okay. The Elon Musk obviously is referenced, and awesomely, nobody wants to hang out with him. That's the one silver lining, is like, even the weirdest, like, grossest pedophiles in the world don't want to hang out with Elon Musk. He couldn't even pedo it up the way he wanted to, because, the cannibalism in the file? Holy fucking shit, Lily. Well, let's see. We might hit it here. Man, the cannibalism. Dear God. If it's not in this roundup here, then we will. Okay, so the top DOJ official first says that the info in the Epstein docs is troubling, but does not necessarily allow us to prosecute somebody. So that's Attorney General Todd Blanche saying that. And he said that the existence of horrible photographs and troubling email correspondence included in the documents does not, quote, allow us necessarily to prosecute somebody. No, they don't want to. They don't want to prosecute anybody. Dig up his golf courses, Kermit? Man. Excavate that shit? See what bodies are under hold 9? I don't know if that's like a golf reference or something, but I feel like it sounds like it is. That remains unchanged from what officials said last summer regarding a review of Epstein-related records, saying that it did not establish a basis for new criminal investigations, the Associated Press reported, which is the biggest load of bullshit ever. Yeah, Lily, Vivian tweeted, so Elon's daughter, for those who don't know, said, I remember being at St. Bart's or whatever it was, wherever the island was, in the same time period as like an email of Elon going like, hey Jeffrey, mind if I come hang out with the girls for the win? He said something like that. I think the email's in here. We'll read it. Holy moly. So yeah, the DOJ is definitely trying to not face any repercussions for that. But obviously, if this ends, in some sort of, or rather, if we go into 2028 with an actual, election, which obviously they're looking to tamper with it. Trump just took votes from Georgia. That would be used as empirical evidence for any sort of voter fraud thing. So anyway, the shit's all going down. It's all hitting the fan. Let's go through this. Man, we'll see what we get. So there's a lot of correspondence, there's a lot of emails, there's a lot of photographs, there's a lot of horrible photographs that appear to be taken by Mr. Epstein or people around him, Blanche said Sunday on CNN's State of the Union, but that doesn't allow us necessarily to prosecute somebody. He said that the victims of Epstein's sex abuse want to be made whole, but that doesn't mean we can just create evidence or that we can just kind of come up with a case that isn't there. They've reviewed the files, and there was nothing there that allowed them to prosecute anybody, is what Blanche said. They released over 3.5 million pieces of paper, which the entire world can look at now and see if they got it wrong. We'll see. Ajax, Georgia is corrupt as fuck in terms of that shit. Yeah, I mean, that was like the whole problem that they were having with it. Or at least what they're really going to lean on in terms of painting this shit as fraud. So the House Democrats are saying that the Epstein files release by the DOJ is not following the laws. Because there's a lot of stuff that's messy in there. Ro Khanna is leading the effort, but, obviously he's saying that it's not a fully complying with what the requirements are. Survivors are upset that many of their names accidentally had come out without redactions, and they want to make sure the rest of the files come out. And Blanche said, each time the department has learned that a victim's name was not properly redacted, it had moved quickly to fix the problem, but those mistakes count for a tiny fraction of the overall materials, and also, once something's out, it's out. It doesn't matter if you go back to fix it. Raskin is saying that the Epstein files are a full-blown cover-up. All right, let's continue down the timeline here. Does Peter Thiel get blood transfusions from his son to de-age? He definitely does. They're all into blood boys. They love their blood boys. 100%. Okay, so Epstein has hassled friends for a meeting with Putin. So apparently Epstein spent years trying to meet with Russian leader Vladimir Putin. The Russian president is mentioned 1,055 times in the updated Epstein library. Many of the items only refer to Putin tangentially, but over the years, the financier reportedly discussed his hopes of meeting with Putin. Thorbjorn Jagland, the former president, the former prime minister of Norway, who met with the Russian leader in his capacity as the Secretary General of the Council of Europe. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that Epstein just had all these. He wanted to be in like the most international blackmail ring. He had so much power. It's crazy. The vampires were supposed to be hot. That's so funny, Lily. Holy shit. In 2013, Epstein told Ehud Barak, the former Israeli prime minister, that he was hoping to meet Putin for the first time that June to discuss how Russia could encourage Western investment. It was unclear whether they did meet to talk business. Email correspondence each year up until 2018 suggests Epstein tried to set up meetings or even invited Putin over for dinner through their mutual contacts. So, man was trying to woo Putin, of course. And that would have been really interesting if he had gotten his hooks into Russia as well, considering how they stand as another superpower. Like, it's crazy. It's just crazy how many superpowers got involved here. Epstein sent 10,000 pounds? Is that pounds? To Lord Mandelson's husband. According to the latest documents, Lord Mandelson's husband... Who is Lord Mandelson? I don't even know who this is. So they got wired like a 10,000 pound payment. Sorry if that's euros. I don't know the difference. And then Lord Mandelson was sacked from his role as UK ambassador to the US, following mounting pressure over his ties to Epstein. Interesting, yeah. So he was a UK ambassador to the US. That makes sense. In terms of involving himself with Epstein. On Friday, he issued a statement apologizing to the victims of Epstein. He insisted he was ignorant of Epstein's crimes and learned the actual truth about him after his death, which I think is bullshit. I think every single person knows. If Bella's first words were, "You're so cold," Kermit, that's so funny. Last year, Lord Mandelson was sacked from his role as the UK ambassador, so he was involved with the US, which means, he was involved with Epstein and Israel and the whole 9 yards, I'm sure. Yeah, 10,000 pounds is like change for them. That's what I was kind of thinking, Lily, because I mean, like, I don't know what it is in US dollars, but it's probably not like super, super far off. It's not like these are multimillionaires, billionaires. They don't care. They don't care. Emails also suggest that Lord Mandelson gave Epstein advance notice of a €500 billion bailout from the EU to save the euro. Deal made by the EU finance ministers in May of 2010. Amid concerns the Greek debt crisis could spread through the Eurozone. Eurozone? Also, that sounds sick. Sounds like a Sonic the Hedgehog level. The evening before, Epstein apparently emailed Lord Mandelson, who was business secretary and de facto deputy prime minister at the time. Sources tell me €500 billion bailout is almost complete. Lord Mandelson apparently replied, SDB announced tonight. Emails apparently appeared to suggest that Lord Mandelson forwarded internal government information to Epstein when he was Gordon Brown's business secretary and deputy. So Mandelson was a key figure in the Labour Party's electoral success during Tony Blair's premiership, which began in the 1990s. Interesting. He came under renewed scrutiny last year after U.S. lawmakers released documents that included a letter which he referred to Epstein as my best pal, leading to his dismissal as Britain's envoy in Washington. Yikes. Not something you want to say about Epstein, for sure. Now, this is juicy shit. Bill Gates denies Epstein claims of affair. Bill Gates was definitely having a little extramarital pookie dookie on the side. Okay? Make no mistake about that. He denies it up and down, but this guy is so tied to this shit, it's crazy. Bill Gates has strongly denied claims in the files that he engaged in extramarital sex. Epstein made the allegations in a drafted 225-word email he sent to himself on July 18th of 2013 with the subject line, Bill. He wrote that, as an associate of Gates, he had been asked to do things that were potentially over the line into the illegal. He added that Gates and his then-wife, Melinda Gates, had been caught up in a severe marital dispute and that he had helped facilitate illicit trysts for the billionaire. A spokesperson for Bill Gates told The Independent, these claims are absolutely absurd and completely false. The only thing these documents demonstrate is Epstein's frustration that he did not have an ongoing relationship with Gates and the lengths he would go through to entrap and defame. So Bill Gates was definitely there and he's guilty as shit. Now this is funny. Elon Musk asking about wild parties on Little St. James. Such a fucking loser. Elon Musk and Epstein discussed visits to Little St. James several times, including in 2012, in which Musk asked Epstein what day or night will be the wildest party on your island. In a 2013 email exchange between Elon Musk and Epstein, the two went back and forth about scheduling a time in January for Musk to visit the island. In the document, Musk wrote to Epstein on Christmas Day in 2013, which, like, chill. It's Christmas Day. Hang out with your fucking family. So on Christmas Day in 2013, he says, actually, I could fly back early on the 3rd. We will be in St. Bart's. When should we head to your island? On the 2nd? It is not clear whether Musk ultimately visited. It sounds like, I don't know if Musk was ever there because it sounds like they never wanted to hang out with him. Musk responded on Saturday in his X social media platform that he had been well aware that some email correspondence with him could be misinterpreted and used by detractors to smear his name. No one pushed harder than me to have the Epstein files released, and I'm glad that it has finally happened, Musk wrote. I have had very little correspondence with Epstein and declined repeated invitations to go to his island or fly on his Lolita Express. So you shouldn't be calling it that, Elon, because you were definitely there. You were definitely there, and you're definitely cool with this stuff. So Trump was dropped. I think like his name was dropped like multiple thousands of times. You know, I know. The Lily 100%. Elon will do anything to not hang out with his kids. He, funny enough, he wants to hang out with other kids. You know, it's like you don't want to spend time with your kids. You want to try to spend your time banging other kids. Like, you fucking freak. The newly published files included hundreds of documents that mentioned Trump, many of which were collections of media reports. One file details what appeared to be internal emails by federal investigators looking into salacious accusations involving the president and Epstein. The emails from August 2025 give no indication that any claims had been substantiated. Investigators said several of the accusers were deemed not credible. Oh, Erica Kirk not spending time with her kids is also wild right now. The Erica Kirk leaks are wild. Like the audio that's come out of her, that's good stuff. Another message whose sender and recipient were both redacted reads, what does J.E. think of going to Mar-a-Lago after Christmas instead of his island? Referring to Trump's Florida club. The message is from 2012, years after Trump said the two men had stopped socializing, right? Keep in mind, Epstein was like, I think he was like convicted for his pedophile shit in like 2008. Or 2010, something like that. So all of these interactions that these people are having with him are after the conviction, and it all goes against what they've all said, which is like, yeah, once he was like publicly, a sex offender, then I was like, nah, man, too much. But it's, that's a lie. Trump has denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes, but the scandal has dogged him for months. In part because he promised to release the files during his 2024 presidential campaign, then reneged after taking office. Did Erica ever spend time with her kids? I mean, it's looking like less and less like that's, the case. Oh, look at this freak shit. Ike or fucking Rumba. This is so fucking gross, man. The former Prince Andrew invited Epstein to Buckingham Palace. This picture shows Andrew Mountbatten Windsor crouched over an unidentified woman. Prince Andrew invited Epstein to Buckingham Palace for dinner and lots of privacy years after the financier was convicted, the new documents suggest. Yeah, the pics are insane. Absolutely nutty. The pics are like damning in their own right. Yeah, the creep formerly known as the prince. That's right. He's not a prince anymore. Ex-prince. Yikes. How bad you gotta fuck up to be an ex-prince? I never heard of that. Well, the only other ex-prince I know is the artist formerly known as. That's stupid. In one email, Andrew said that he was traveling to London where Epstein was staying. He told Epstein we could have dinner at Buckingham Palace and lots of privacy. That's crazy. Epstein responded, already in London, what time would you like me? And we will also need / have private time. It is not clear whether a meeting at the palace took place. The Independent has approached Buckingham Palace for comment. I'm sure they'll be forthright about everything. The latest release also included pictures that appeared to feature Andrew poised on all fours over a woman on the floor. It is unclear where and when the photos were taken, and the woman's identity is masked. In another message that appeared to have been sent to Andrew, Epstein offered to introduce the then prince to a clever, beautiful, and trustworthy Russian woman named Irina, who was 26. Ghoulish fucking picture. Ew. Ugh. Fucking nasty. And do they have the American flag in the background and shit? Like, these guys are fucking funny. Funny with that shit. Epstein allegedly fathered a secret child. That's crazy. Oh, God. Nobody deserves to be Epstein's kid. That's fucking wild. Alright, let's continue down the timeline here. Where's the thing? Where's the thing? Where's the thing to jump around? Am I bugging? Am I bugging? Where'd the thing go? Which, monarchy. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Where's the fucking button to go to the next one? It disappeared. It disappeared. What? Say what? Button come back. You could blame it all on me. Am I going crazy? Guys, am I going crazy? There was a button to take us through. They're actively deleted. Yeah, right? Like, why can't I go back to the other things? Hold on. Hold on, let me try to open this. Yeah, I try to refresh. Yeah, right? You got to screenshot and print it. That's true. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Let me try to get this link again. Yo, what the fudge? Yeah, look at that. The buttons are gone. The buttons are gone. I'm not just bugging out here. The buttons are gone. There was like 6 pages to go through. What in the blazes, man? Yeah, it just looks like some of the things are maybe taken down. What the fuck? All right, well, hold on. I had another thing we can go off of. All right, while I get the other link, let's cover this story. Because this is worth noting. Because Epstein did indeed, in case you were wondering, I'm sure you were, you know, and I'm here to make sure you get all the important news. And this is probably the most important piece of information. Epstein sent 5 Nights at Freddy's porn from 4chan. Make of that what you will. But let's see how that happened. This latest round of revelations about sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein contains so many things that seem like they'd be fake, but are turning out to be real. The latest bizarre report, confirmed by multiple sources, including Kotaku, is that he sent 5 Nights at Freddy's-based porn to his girlfriend. Yesterday, the Department of Justice released 3 million pages of Epstein-related documents, and journalists the world over are trying to make some sense of all of this. Apparently, on May 4th of 2017, he sent a message to his girlfriend, Karina Shuliak, that contained an animated GIF made in Source Filmmaker featuring FNAF characters in pornographic situations. In the email subject line, he said, "Amazing animations." What the fuck? My first reaction was, this is so ridiculous it must be made up, but then I had to ask myself what part I couldn't believe. That a child trafficker would be into weird porn with connections to kids' toys, that he would send said weird stuff to his girlfriend, who may or may not have felt comfortable telling him that it was inappropriate, or that Epstein was on 4chan. And I believe Epstein actually has a connection to the owner of 4chan. I think he's on the Epstein list as well. Also, yesterday we learned that Epstein was banned from Xbox Live in 2013. After all, he was a registered sex offender, and Microsoft had agreed to cooperate with the New York Attorney General's office to remove them from the service. It's not clear if he was the primary user of the account in question, as other emails leaked in this huge release mentioned buying an Xbox as a gift and questioning where a $25 charge had come from. So, yeah, the amount of stuff in the Epstein files is pretty much, I don't know, man. I don't know. FNAF, there's FNAF porn in there. Come on. Yeah, getting banned from Xbox Live is just, that's hard to do. That's honestly hard to do. Xbox Live is where the worst of the worst go. All right, here's another one that we can look at here that sums it up. So 10 key takeaways from the Epstein files. So, 1, Epstein lawyers discussed possibility of cooperation days before his death. Yeah, so Epstein was getting ready to rat. He was definitely killed. Less than 2 weeks before Epstein died in jail in 2019, the files show that his attorneys met with Manhattan federal prosecutors and discussed Epstein's potential cooperation. An FBI document titled Epstein Investigation Summary and Timeline states, on July 29th of 2019... Skepchick. Okay, yeah, I see. Less than 2... So an FBI document titled Epstein Investigation Summary and Timeline states, on July 29, 2019, FBI and prosecutors met with Epstein's attorneys, who in very general terms discussed the possibility of a resolution of the case and the possibility of defendants' cooperation. Another document titled Jeffrey Epstein's Significant Case Notification, which closely resembles the FBI memo but is not attributed to a specific agency, notes that defense counsel did not make a specific proposal, and that they did not indicate what the nature of Epstein's cooperation might be, if any. So, yeah, I mean, I think we all are I think, like, pretty much the whole world is on the Epstein was killed train. Not that he killed himself. But, I mean, just knowing how much blackmail he had on some of the most powerful people in the world, like, I don't see why he would kill himself. He would get a good deal from anybody. Should have titled it Epstein Coverup.pdf. Oh my lord. The old PDF file. 2, the FBI received allegations about Trump. So in the past, they received allegations about Trump. One document in the newly released tranche? I don't know how to say that word. One document in the newly released tranche is a summary that FBI officials appear to have compiled last summer. More than a dozen tips received by the agency involving Trump and Epstein. It is unclear why the investigators put together the summary, and it does not say when the tips, which include unsubstantiated claims of sexual abuse, were received. The document also does not include any corroborating evidence or indication that the tips were verified. Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoings in connection with Epstein. In response to a request for a comment from the New York Times, the White House referred to a statement from the Justice Department on Friday, which stated that the new tranche of documents may include fake or falsely submitted images, documents, or videos, which is bullshit. Some of the documents contain untrue and sensationalist claims against President Trump that were submitted to the FBI right before the 2020 election. The DOJ statement added, "To be clear, the claims are unfounded and false, and if they have a shred of credibility, they certainly would have been weaponized against President Trump already," which is not necessarily true. Okay? There's no doubt that even if there was, clear connections or much credibility behind what was said, it would be used against Trump right now. Right? Because it goes so much deeper than Trump. There's so many people involved that, if you throw one person under the bus, the whole thing falls apart. So really the question is, who's gonna let the whole thing fall apart first? Apparently the Clintons are gonna testify on this. Who knows what'll come of that. Alex Jones, yes, is the guy who, he's a gay frog guy. He loves the gay frogs, Alex started as a bodybuilder? Holy shit. Anyway, so yeah, the FBI was already aware of allegations about Trump before he had ever run for president. And the other thing that's going to be said sometimes is that, this stuff is being used as a political thing against Trump, right? But I mean, Epstein was collecting blackmail against Trump to damage his political career. But so much of this happens before he even ran for president in the first term, right? So this is not somebody who's documenting things, thinking about somebody's political career in mind. This is somebody who is obviously just blackmailing everybody. But that almost makes it, even more provable that it's him, because nobody was getting special treatment. Everybody was getting filmed. Everybody was getting, it seems like that was part of what you were doing there with him, and they trusted him to keep his mouth shut about things because he liked this kind of stuff himself. 3, Musk had more extensive ties to Epstein than previously known, as we discussed. Still a loser. Still a loser among losers. Not even the pedophiles wanted to hang out with him and play reindeer games with the old Elon Musk. Emails show Musk and Epstein exchanging cordial messages, and on 2 separate occasions in 2012 and 2013, again, after Epstein's convicted pedophilia trial, so they were exchanging cordial messages, and on 2 separate occasions in 2013 and 2012, the two making plans for Musk to visit Epstein's private island. The communications suggest that the trips did not occur due to logistical issues, but they definitely didn't occur because, basically Epstein handed off the emails to Ghislaine or something, and she was like, "Oh, yeah, we're not doing it anymore. Actually, we're shutting the whole island down. So yeah, we're never doing that again. You don't. So never ask, because we're not doing that anymore. Okay. If you hear anything about it, it's not true. Okay. So Musk told Vanity Fair in 2019 that Epstein was, quote, obviously a creep, takes one to know one, and claimed that Epstein tried repeatedly to get me to visit his island, but that he had declined. No. Elon, nobody is begging to get you to go anywhere to hang out with them, okay? Come on. Epstein files confirming Elon is a huge-ass loser was not what I expected. Lily, if Elon is in anything, make no mistake, he will prove that he is a big-ass loser. There's no other way he can operate. He's living La Vida loser, big time. A representative for Musk and his artificial intelligence company XAI did not return requests for comment about the emails. On Friday night, Musk repeated his previous claim on social media, stated that he had, quote, very little correspondence with Epstein, and declined repeated invitations to go to his island. We'll look at the Musk tweets later, because the Musk tweets are hilarious. He's like, hey man, I want to come to your island. What's the craziest night? Girls for the win. That's the shit he was literally saying. Howard Lutnick made plans to visit Epstein's island. Now, Howard Lutnick is also a creep bag who was doing the whole, like, I don't know who would hang out with Jeffrey Epstein. He was a creep, okay? But the files show that Lutnick, now serving as U.S. Secretary of Commerce under Trump, arranged to visit Jeffrey Epstein Island in 2012. Let me see if I can actually get the email from that, too, because the email is disgusting. Let's see if we have it here. So the actual email, let's see. Well, look at that. The actual email's there. Let me see if I can find the one. Oh, yes, this is the one. This one is fucking disgusting. So this is Howard Lutnick emailing Jeffrey Epstein saying, hey, Jeff, we are landing in St. Thomas early Saturday afternoon and planning to head over to St. Bart's / Anguilla on Monday at some point. Where are you located? What is the exact location for my captain? And does Sunday evening for dinner sound good? I have another couple, Michael and Marcy Lerman, with me on my boat, and each of us has 4 children. And the redacted part there says the ages of the children, which is like, they range from like 16 down to like, 7 or something like that. Now, obviously, the hope there in that situation is that he's saying what the kids' ages are just to like give him a heads up that he's going to have kids with them. I don't know. I don't know why you include the kids' ages. I don't know. But absolute fucking creep shit. Now, the other thing about him is he was on his like high horse about I think Epstein is a huge creep, right? He was on like I think he's the neighbor of Elon or not Elon Musk, of Epstein. So last year, Lutnick said in an interview that he had been neighbors with Epstein in New York and that he had cut ties with Epstein around 2005, calling him disgusting. However, that email we saw was from 2012, so lies. A spokesperson for the Commerce Department told the Wall Street Journal that Lutnick had limited interactions with Epstein and has never been accused of wrongdoing. Now, again, none of this is like, these are all allegations, yada, yada, yada. But to me, it doesn't even matter. Because, like, you know who Epstein is. there's nobody who's going to his island who doesn't know what this guy's story is about. Right? So, even if you didn't do anything, the fact that you are willing to spend your time with this guy, the fact that you are willing to have a relationship with this person, and you know, like, this is a pedophile, a child trafficker, like, that says everything about you. You're a piece of shit. You don't need to actually do anything wrong, but you're a piece of shit. So Epstein was invited to Buckingham Palace. We went over that. Richard Branson and Epstein exchanged emails. Okay? I mean, that's not... I feel like that doesn't even surprise me that much. Billionaire island owners, you know. They're like... I'm sure they both like to have their crazy fucking parties. I think Branson's known for that kind of shit, too. The files show an email exchange from 2013 between Branson, the British billionaire and founder of the Virgin Group, and Epstein. In an email on the 11th of September of 2013, Branson wrote to Epstein, quote, "It was really nice seeing you yesterday," and added, quote, "Anytime you're in the area, would love to see you, as long as you bring your harem. Ay caramba." So literally, they are talking about how they want to have these interactions with Epstein because they want to hang out with these girls. And they want to, you know, they want to do creepy shit with these girls. A representative for the Virgin Group told the New York Times that Branson had sent the email shortly after hosting Epstein at a group business meeting on the private island Branson owns in the British Virgin Islands. The spokesperson said that Epstein arrived at the meeting with 3 adult women whom he referred to as his harem, who did not attend the meeting. Quote, "Any contact Richard and Joan Branson had with Epstein took place on only a few occasions more than 12 years ago, and was limited to group or business settings." The representative said in a statement, "Richard believes that that Epstein's actions were abhorrent and supports the right to justice for his many victims." Okay? So Branson's in there too. Files show emails between head of LA Olympics Committee and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's weird. So emails from 2003 between Casey Wasserman, head of the Los Angeles Olympic Organizing Committee, and Ghislaine Maxwell, who was serving a 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking crimes, appeared in the files. Oh my goodness. Yes, oh, geez, Louise. Akari, yeah, whoa, yeah. Glad you're okay. Epstein was trawling in the Lakeside Mall in Metairie. I don't know how to say that. Louisiana, when you were his target age. Oh my gosh. I knew girls that went to the modeling scouting shit that they would do at the mall. Yeah, the mall used to have that sketchy modeling shit there. Oh my goodness. What do the Olympics have to do with the files? Let's see. The exchange, including a message from Wasserman telling Maxwell, "I think of you all the time. So what do I have to do to see you in a tight leather outfit?" In April 2003. Oh, Metairie. Got it. In April 2003, email sent to Wasserman, who was married at the time. Maxwell offered to give him a massage that can drive a man wild. Wasserman said on Saturday he deeply regrets his correspondence with Ghislaine Maxwell, which he said took place long before the horrific crimes came to light. "I never had a personal or business relationship with Jeffrey Epstein," he added. "As is well documented, I went on a humanitarian trip as part of a delegation with the Clinton Foundation in 2002 on the Epstein plane." That's a crazy sentence. A crazy sentence is, "I went on a humanitarian trip as part of a delegation with the Clinton Foundation on the Epstein plane." Holy fuck. I'm terribly sorry for having any association with either of them. So yeah, the connection is just that the LA Olympics Organizing Committee head, Casey Wasserman, was, going for going for a little extramarital action with Ghislaine Maxwell. Really just like, honestly, I think the biggest thing is like if you have the poor judgment to be involved with the Epsteins in any way, shape, or form, like you don't have the responsibility, you can't be trusted with the responsibility of an organization, you know? Absolutely not, you know? Yeah, he wanted a latex massage. Absolutely. That's all he wanted was a spicy massage from a sex trafficker, child trafficker. New York Giants co-owner Steve Tisch exchanged emails with Epstein. Look at that. Yeah, of course. I mean, and I'm pretty sure Tisch, is his wife the police commissioner? Or the runs the New York police, I think. Tisch was mentioned several hundred times in the files released on Friday and in some emails exchanged from 2013. It appears that Epstein connected Tisch to several women. In a statement, Tisch said that he and Epstein had a, quote, brief association where we exchanged emails about adult women. And in addition, we discussed movies, philanthropy, and investments. That's so funny that you have to say, we had conversations about adult women, okay? Talking all the time about women of age. Classic. Crazy. Just like the things you hear these people say that you go like, oh, that's weird. I've never had to say something like that. You know? Let that be a flag for you whenever you see that in the world, right? If you're like, that's weird. I've never had to say something like that. Right? Yeah, how old is their adult women, right? Because, I mean, a lot of people would be like, 18 is an adult, but I still am like, you know, you're creepy. Fuck you. All right? 18 years old is not an adult. I'm sorry to any 18-year-olds. But it's just not the case. You probably don't watch this old person shit. But that's just the case, you know? I did not take him up. So yeah, Steve Tisch regrets it. He regrets the whole association. The files shed light on new relationship between Epstein and Peter Mandelson, who we talked about. And then Holly. Oh, this is a good one. This is a great one, gang. If you haven't heard about this, it explains a lot. Hollywood filmmaker Brett Ratner appears in images with Epstein and two women. Okay, Brett Ratner, of course, is the director of Melania. Yes, the Melania Trump documentary. Okay? So it's a picture of him sitting on a sofa hugging a woman next to Epstein who is sitting with another woman. And both women's faces have been redacted. According to the Wall Street Journal, the updated photo appears to have been taken in Epstein's New York townhouse. And Ratner reportedly told the Journal in 2023 he did not know Epstein and had never met him. Oof. On Saturday, a spokeswoman for Ratner declined to comment to the Journal. Lily, why does she need a documentary? She needs a documentary. So there's like multiple reasons why they would do that. First of all, you know, it's obviously a propaganda piece. That's the one major thing, right? For some reason, you know, MAGA has this idea of like legacy. So they make these propaganda pieces that in theory would like last forever and be like, you know, totems of culture or whatever. Will this be that? I don't know. You know, it might be. I think we're going to look back on this movie for a long time and be like, what the fuck? No matter how that goes. Creating false prestige. Yeah, exactly, Akari. That's a great way to put it. They're creating false prestige. It's because, like, you know, they have to take every opportunity they can to tell people that they're good in some way, right? Or paint that sort of picture that they are something more than what they are, which is like hollow shells of human beings. They're just pieces of shit. Plus, they have blackmail information on a Hollywood director, so they can do it. You know? So Ratner said that he doesn't know Epstein at all. He told the Journal in 2023 he did not know Epstein and had never met him. But now there's pictures of him that have leaked, and he did the Melania film. So that's just some of what's come out. Okay? There's going to be a lot more. We'll go over it every once in a while just to keep up with everything. Obviously it's something super important, but it is damning. Oh, the pictures, yeah, the new pictures are crazy. Let's see the pictures. Check this out. Yeah, the pictures are pretty crazy. All right, gang. Yeah, I wish these people would grow some balls and admit they know Epstein. I mean, the problem is they I bet you most of these people have crimes under their belts. Committed crimes with them. Of course they did, All right, so these are ay caramba. These are some of the pictures here. All right, so we saw this one, the Prince Andrew one. Terrible. This is Epstein would write on people's bodies. And he's got a copy of the book Lolita over there. I mean, it's crazy how much these people love. Oh, Ajax, thank you. You loving the leopard hat? Thank you. We keep it fresh over here. Come on. Please. Anyway, they love wearing this shit right on their sleeve, and really talking about it. This is crazy looking. These places look so scary. Oh, that's not his handwriting? Oh, I don't think he writes this. I think he has them write it. Oh yeah, Ghislaine. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right, Akari. I think you're probably right. But look at this. This pool looks so frightening. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton swims in a pool. So creepy looking. Oh, what are you doing, Mick Jagger? Oh, what are you doing there? That's not very rock and roll. Former U.S. President Bill Clinton, Mick Jagger, and Ghislaine Maxwell. Look at that. I'd hate to be San Pellegrino right now. San Pellegrino showing up in the Epstein files. Not a good look. Ew. Oh. Ew, that's Epstein in a bathtub. Oh, I hate it. He is such a little ogre. Oh, this is Steve Bannon, who's also nasty. Jeffrey Epstein and Steve Bannon just talking about how to be the grossest little boogers on the face of the earth. Oh, Trump and Ghislaine. Yeah, those are buddies right there. I've never seen him smile so big. Those are buddies. Massage for Dummies. Look how used that is. Ugh. I hate how worn that is. A book titled Massage for Dummies. Oh, there's Dirty Dog, Bill Gates. Bill Gates appears with a woman whose identity has been obscured. Yeah. Bill Gates was definitely getting his freak on and then was trying to hide it. I mean, they all try to hide it. But I think actually, if I'm remembering correctly, Melinda Gates left him specifically because he enjoyed hanging out with Epstein and she thought he was weird. Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein on their private plane there. Chris Tucker. No, Corbin Dallas. No, Chris Tucker. What are you doing in the Epstein files? You should be on The Fifth Element right now. Ugh. Yeah, oh, Akari, great point. The kid doodled on the massage for dummies. That's so gross and horrifying, and it's like the kind of shit you don't even notice or think of, kind of, because it's just like, but yes, of course that's what the cover of a book that a kid who's been holding on to it looks like. Ugh. An image of a prescription bottle of phenazopyridine. We'll speed that up in post. Via House Oversight Committee. Yeah, okay. There we go. This painting haunts my mind. Honestly, this painting freaks me the fuck out. And I can't get it out of my brain. A painting of former U.S. President Bill Clinton wearing a dress, displayed inside the Manhattan home of Jeffrey Epstein. Then there's this picture again. I think they've tried to debunk this. I think they've tried to say this picture is not from any time with Epstein, but Michael Jackson and Diana Ross. Jackson is definitely in the files. Ghislaine Maxwell poses with David Copperfield. Yo. David Copperfield. What's his name? David Blaine is going to be broken. He's going to be broken about this. Oh, man. Ghislaine Maxwell and Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, Prince Andrew. Just on a mountain of women. Yeah, Copperfield let us down with that one, right, Ajax? Copperfield. Oh, Lily, David Copperfield is like a really famous American magician. Like, I'm trying to think of like Houdini of the modern day, kind of. If Houdini is somebody that you're familiar with. Just like a really, really well-renowned magician who, like, every magician in the world is like, yeah, of course, I like David Copperfield. All right, so this is Michael and Epstein. I mean, you know, no surprises there, really. Who the fuck is this guy? Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google. Oh, Christ. Jeez Louise. Yeah, Lily, he was big on American television, like, in the 90s and early 2000s, as people are saying. Yeah, Kermit, he was famous for disappearing the Statue of Liberty on TV. So this is the interior of his Little St. James place. This is, oh, Jesus Christ, that's Epstein. Ay caramba. Epstein wearing a keffiyeh and looking like a creep. Noam Chomsky and Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, everybody's in this shit. Everybody. Ghislaine Maxwell poses outside the British Prime Minister's residence of 10 Downing Street. This is just Epstein hanging out with a woman. Don't know who that is. Oh, God. So fucking creepy. Oh. Is that... Okay, so I guess that's a stuffed tiger in Jeffrey Epstein's home. Yo, you cannot buy taste. These guys always have the worst taste. Sarah Ferguson, at the time Britain's Duchess of York. Ay. Former President Bill Clinton. Richard Branson there with Epstein. Ugh. Another one of the Lola quotes, or the Lolita quotes on there. Yeah, I hope the cat was stuffed, but yeah, it didn't look stuffed to me, but I can't tell. Bill Gates with another woman whose identity has been obscured. Oh, this is so weird. This is him. I think this is him writing things on people. Ugh. New York Times columnist David Brooks. Ew. Fucking foul. Epstein's passport. Epstein and Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, an Emirati businessman and chairman and group CEO of DP World. This is a Slovak politician and diplomat and former president of the United Nations General Assembly. All sorts of powerful people. This is Brett Ratner posing with Jean-Luc Brunel. So this is the director of Melania here. That's just another picture of Epstein. Epstein and Ghislaine in, I don't know where, but they're having a grand old time. Oh, that's creepy as shit. Oh, a view of the interior home of Jeffrey Epstein? That's so, God, oh man, that's creepy. Oh, kind of scared me a little bit. I caramba. Forgot where my microphone was for a second. Why do you have that in your home? Ugh. Ugh. Okay. There they are, just having a grand old time again. This is that's the St. James, little St. James. Yeah, that statue fucked me up, right, Lily? That shit was cursed. Cursed, that statue. Whew. What's up with their drip? What's up with their drip in these photos, okay? They got the worst goddamn fucking clothes. Ay caramba. This is so funny. Okay, so this is him and Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem again. But, like, what are they making? Dumplings or some shit? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what? Former U.S. President Bill Clinton and a woman. Yeah, he was all into this shit. Epstein plays the piano. Oh, okay. Oh, that's creepy. Bill Clinton hanging in the goddamn hot tub. Oh, no, with the duck face. Why? Why? Ugh. All right, those are the pictures, okay? The pictures are fucking awful. We hate it. Cooking with Epstein, only on Fox. Kitchen Predators. God, what would the name of that cooking show be? What would the name of the Epstein cooking show be? It would not be good. It would not be good. Hell's Kitchen. So this Epstein stuff is so much. There's so much stuff. So we'll keep looking at that. I see some recommendations on some other creators who are covering some of this stuff. So maybe what we'll do too is, like, every once in a while, to catch up with this stuff, we'll watch some creators who have, like, covered it really well or that sort of thing. But goddamn, let's cleanse our palates. Shall we cleanse our palates? I feel like I feel like a palate cleanser is in order after all that. Am I right? Let's talk about our pizza escape. Our Luigi-style pizza escape. Okay, so was Melania also an Epstein girl? I don't remember. A great question. So apparently, they may have met through Epstein. So I don't know if she was officially like an Epstein girl. Okay, no, she was too old. No, okay. So I think that there is some way they know each other. There's some way they know each other. I don't know exactly what it is. We'll find that out as we look into this more. There's 3 million pages of stuff, so obviously, it'll take a minute to for everyone to go through it all. People who are smarter than me. But while we wait for more information to come out, let's talk pizza. Now, pizza is, as you know, and I always spread this pizzaganda. Pizza is the food of the people. Okay? If you don't agree with me on that, you're just wrong. There's a slice for everybody. Everybody's welcome around the pizza. It's a safe space. It's a safe space. Now, pizza being the righteous food that it is, it only makes sense that purveyors of pizza themselves be righteous in their own regard. And while I do not support anything done in this story, and obviously I would never advocate for it, I do find humor in what we have here. And what we have is that a pizzeria worker has tried with pie cutters, okay, the nice round pie cutter, to bust out Luigi Mangione from jail. The alleged criminal. I personally don't think he looks very much like the guy. But, that's just the way it is. That being said, a criminal complaint was obtained by USA Today that said Mark Anderson of Mankato, Minnesota, told jail workers that he was an FBI agent and had a court order for Luigi Mangione's release. So, Neapolitan pizza is, kind of like thin crust. White pizza's good too. We have so many pizza types over here. We have more than 4. Right? I mean, deep dish, Detroit, New York. We got a lot. Tom! Oh, we got Mario in the chat. Welcome. Now, here we go. Let's talk about this pizza caper, okay? Again, we do not advocate for, we do not support any of these things. If it sounds like I think any of this is cool, that's just the way it sounds, okay? I think all of this is lame. Understand? All of it is lame. That being said, the Italians, and as an Italian American myself, I appreciate a tale based in the Italian tradition of anarchy. Okay? This, the Sacco Vanzetti of it all, if you would. Okay? So that being said, a pizzeria worker posing as an FBI agent and armed with a pie cutter is facing federal charges after he tried to bust Luigi Mangione out of jail, according to a criminal complaint obtained by USA Today. Mark Anderson of Mankato, Minnesota, was charged on January 29th with impersonating an FBI agent after he showed up to a federal jail in New York City the night before and said he had a court order to release Mangione, according to the complaint. What a way to go about all this, you know? I mean, I'm trying to imagine the kind of person who's like, works at a pizza place and is like, yo, I gotta get Luigi out. This is on me. This is on me right now. Incredible. When Bureau of Prisons officers at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn asked to see Anderson's FBI credentials, the complaint says the 36-year-old produced a Minnesota driver's license. That's bold. Said he was armed and displayed and threw numerous documents at the officers. That's wild. It's bold, and I absolutely appreciate it. Officers then searched Anderson's bag and found a circular steel blade that looked like a small pizza cutter wheel, in addition to a barbecue fork, the complaint said. Look at that. Look at that right there. Pizza cutter wheel, barbecue fork. Unbelievable. The complaint does not identify the inmate whom Anderson was trying to help, but a law enforcement source told USA Today that it was Mangione. The official also said that Anderson has traveled to New York from Mankato, Minnesota, roughly 70 miles southwest of Minneapolis, and was working at a pizzeria. The official said that Anderson appeared in court on the charge on January 29th, was ordered detained after a magistrate judge found that he is a flight risk, endangers the community. That's so wild. Yeah, Kermit, I mean, those things are usually, I mean, you know, they're round enough, they're sharp enough, they're steel enough, I guess. I don't know. They don't like this guy doing that, right? Yeah, literally got off work immediately, went to work trying to bail Luigi. I think this guy is kind of getting a little bit of a bad rap here, right? Like, he left work, he probably puts he works at a pizzeria. He just put his little fork and his pizza slicer in his briefcase to bring it home. They don't get it. USA Today has reached out to Anderson's attorney to see if they have comment. The Office of Mangione's attorneys did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So where is Luigi's case right now? A great question. Mangione, 27, is charged both federally and by New York State in the shooting death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Mangione faces 9 felony counts in the state case, including second-degree murder. Terrorism-related charges against him were dismissed in September for a lack of sufficient evidence, and he faces a separate federal death penalty prosecution, as well as several charges in Pennsylvania. The Pizza Man, Secret Pizza Man. Assassin's Creed Sicilia. That's great, Kermit. Oh, that's good. That got me. That got me. Mangione faces 9 felony counts in the state case, including second-degree murder. Terrorism-related charges against him were dismissed in September for lack of sufficient evidence, and he faces a separate federal death penalty prosecution, as well as several charges in Pennsylvania. He's pleaded not guilty to all the charges. Come on. Let's go. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Mangione, a young and attractive Ivy League graduate, has drawn adoration from supporters who show up at all his court hearings carrying signs like Free Luigi, Not Guilty, and I Am Luigi Mangione. Yeah, Luigi fever has not died down. The people still love Luigi. Secret Agent Man. Wow, what a song that I haven't thought about in forever. Whoa, you just hit me with that. Secret Pizza Man. The funny thing is, there's a book called Secret Pizza Party that I read my daughter, and right-wingers got really mad about that book because they were like, it's trying to tell your kids not to tell your parents secrets. And it's like, I don't know how you guys are so sensitive. And that's coming from a sensitive man. I'm a sensitive boy, let me tell you. Okay, so if I'm saying you guys are sensitive, you must be really sensitive. Boy, oh boy. So Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center is an infamous federal facility known for its high-profile guests. People housed at the detention center remain there as they await federal trials, a process that could take months and even years. Besides Mangione, the facility is housing former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, and Ismael Elmeo Zambada Garcia, believed to be one of the founders of Mexico's Sinaloa drug cartel. That's crazy. They just have this is the Arkham Asylum or whatever, right? I don't know the Batman shit. But, this is where they keep all the baddies. Among other all the baddies, alleged baddies in Mangione's case, of course. Ajax, you cried over a video game? Oh yeah. Oh, I cried over a video game. Oh yeah, 100%. I cry over every video game. Come on now. If you're not crying over your video games, you're not doing it right. Or you're playing something that, is not like you're playing Fallout or something. Anyway, that's besides the point. Among other high-profile inmates in the past, this includes Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, R. Kelly, Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell, rappers Tekashi 6ix9ine, and Fetty Wap, and Pharma Bro Martin Shkreli. Yo, okay, this is literally the fucking Arkham Asylum. Holy shit, that's crazy. They got Luigi up there with the actual criminals. Ay caramba. All right, so that's the status of Luigi right now, okay? We got secret pizza men trying to bust him out. The people have spoken. They want Luigi. We'll see. I mean, we'll have to see what happens, but I'm assuming this isn't going to be the only wacky story around him that we see. I'm absolutely positive that other people are going to be trying to do some silly stuff. Okay, so let's talk about okay, I got a couple more things I want to tell you guys about. I want to take a dump on Chuck Schumer real quick, okay? I want to shit all over Chuck Schumer because on top of being a lazy, good-for-nothing fucking loser, boy, his latest comments are pretty wild. So Chuck Schumer recently it was reported that critics, said, no, that is not your job, after Chuck Schumer claims that his job is to fight for aid to Israel. All right, taxpayer dollars going to Israel. All right, Chuck Schumer is a piece of shit. He's a piece of shit. He's a spineless little bastard. He's done nothing for us. And institutional Democrats are just the fascism light, okay? This was, this was always what they wanted to be doing with stuff, even when federal administrations like ICE are killing people in the street. They don't even take the money away. They don't even go, no, we're going to stop this for right now and mix things up. So there's no, sometimes people come on here, when I get people who are critical of whatever video I make because they just assume that, I'm like a liberal or something. They're like, oh, but like the one thing I hear all the time now is, whenever we're shit talking Tom Homan or any of the ICE stuff, they're like, yeah, well, Obama gave Tom Homan an award and deported X amount of people. It's like, yeah, I fucking hate that too, and I hate that guy. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why do you think that's a fucking valid point? Like, it's not like, oh, well, it was Democrat, so I like that. Absolutely not. Emerald Cat, yeah, leave it to Schumer to come up with the absolute wrong idea of what the people want. Exactly. Ajax, his imaginary family loves him so much. Lily, no, he's not related to Amy Schumer. God, at least I don't think so. No way. Wait, Amy Schumer is related to Chuck Schumer? Really, Akari? Because that makes so much sense. Because Amy Schumer's been going, crazy on the Israel shit. No way. She's actually related to Chuck Schumer? We'll have to look that up. But anyway, oh man, that's nutty. Yeah, so Chuck Schumer, he sucks, and he's fucking lame. 75% of Democrat voters oppose sending Israel more military aid, as do 66% of independents and 60% of Americans overall, noted one domestic policy expert. Akari, yeah, okay, so Amy Schumer is related to Chuck Schumer. I take it back, Lily. Amy Schumer is related to Chuck Schumer, and cousins. They do political shit together? Gross. Yeah, Amy Schumer is a fucking dick rider for the IOF. Like, yikes. Okay. She's had some of the most tone-deaf takes on that shit. So progressive critics of Senate minority Chuck Schumer had fresh reasons to speak out Sunday after the powerful New York Democrat said that one of many of his jobs in the U.S. Senate was to fight for ongoing taxpayer-funded military and financial assistance to the Israeli government. When I find out Gerard Butler from Gerard Way from MCR is connected to an American. Wait, what? Lily, who is Gerard Way from MCR connected to? What? That's crazy. Yeah, Gerard Way. That's nuts. Whoa, that's crazy. So anyway, Chuck Schumer said one of his many jobs in the U.S. Senate was to fight for ongoing taxpayer-funded military and financial assistance to the Israeli government, a position that has been the focus of growing protest among rank-and-file party members and the public at large in the face of Israel's brutal genocide against the Palestinian people of Gaza. Yeah, Emerald Cat. I thought his job was to write strongly worded letters, right? He doesn't even do that shit. Even when it's just like put on the performance, put on the show, he puts on the worst fucking show. He's such a goddamn lame duck. He doesn't even do like Hakeem Jeffries and like Cory Booker. They'll all do the like, I'm gonna say a curse word. I'm gonna say one curse word, and they pretend like that's doing something. They'll be like, these guys, you know what? I'm gonna say it. They're real asses. Don't mess with the Dems. That's like their whole fucking shit. Yeah, Ajax. I think his only job is to pretend to write strongly worded letters and imagine his favorite fake family. That's funny. So yeah, he's like, it's crazy. He says, I have many jobs as Senate leader, and one is to fight for aid to Israel, all the aid that Israel needs. Schumer said at a gathering of Jewish leaders and community members in New York on Sunday. I will continue to fight for it. What? Lily, Gerard Way is related to Joe Rogan? Excuse-moi? What? Oh my God. No, Lily, not an American politician, but somebody who has influence over American politics for sure. I mean, Joe Rogan is the biggest podcaster over here, and he's a huge thumb-like piece of shit. Whoa, that's crazy. I gotta look into that. That's nutty. Oh yeah, Confused Lizard. That is one of the funniest things too. Like you said, Schumer is saying, like the right isn't sending aid to Israel too. He's like, my job specifically as the Democrat House leader is to make sure that aid goes to you, because it's not going to go to you with the Republican. It's like, holy shit, man, holy shit. You all want the same thing. Republicans and the Democrats institutionally want the same thing. They never met. Lily, I gotta look into this. You said that's gonna send me down a rabbit hole now. Holy moly. According to Jacob Kornbluh, who provided footage of the remarks while reporting for The Forward, Schumer told the audience that his support for Jewish security funding will only continue to grow under his leadership, calling it his baby. He says, I will continue to fight for it. Schumer continued, we delivered more security assistance to Israel, our ally, than ever before. Why do you think that is a flex right now? He says, we delivered more security assistance to Israel, our ally, than ever before. This dumb motherfucker, or this evil motherfucker, really, just being like, yo, my big flex right now, I sent more money to Israel than ever before. And did you see how many babies we killed? Okay, because let me tell you, we'll put up those all-timer numbers, okay? These fucks are insane. Ay caramba. That's loud. I'm not going to listen to that. As long as I'm in the Senate, Schumer said, this program will continue to grow from strength to strength, and we won't let anyone attack it or undo it. Now, keep in mind too that, like, you know, it's not just like the connection that they're trying to make with like Judaism and Israel, right? When we know that, you know, the connection is not actually there. Israel is a state. It's a country, right? It's a territory, right? Or at least it's trying to be seen that way. And conflating it with a religion is wrong. You know, but that's the shit that they're gonna do, right? Yeah, the interview isn't to convince us. Exactly. Lizard said it perfectly. The interview isn't to convince us. It's for his rich overlords, 100%. It's literally for donors to hear that, you know, that's my main thing here. I need your money. Meanwhile, in Israel, you've got Palantir, you've got Oracle, you've got all of these tech companies that operate in the U.S. as well, that are using Israel, essentially, and the Palestinian population as the testing ground for what they're going to do here. Again, as I've talked about in my video about Trump's AI bunker, right? The ballroom specs and budget match exactly AI bunkers that have been used in Israel, and those are used for mass surveillance. And look at the surveillance state that Trump has been creating. All these databases, like in the first story we covered, they're saying there's an Antifa leader that they've targeted from their databases, right? And the fact that they want AI completely deregulated, you know, they're trying to get their hands on as much information as they can, as much as they can. With their hope being that they will have an infrastructure for when they try to, you know, rig the next election and have Trump stay in office or whatever the plan is, that this infrastructure will be in place and continue developing. But even if it doesn't, even if they don't win the election, you know, I'm sure there's tons of damage they can do with having like the most powerful AI infrastructure in the United States in terms of surveillance before they go. And considering all of them have their hands in business, you know, that's what it's going to be used for. It's going to be used to make money for them. Meanwhile, in Gaza over the weekend, and despite claims that a ceasefire remains in effect, bombings by Israel in Gaza killed and wounded dozens of people, including women, children, and police officers. Yeah, so don't forget, if you haven't been following up with what's going on, it's business as usual in Israel. They've been striking Gaza constantly still, and they're not living by the ceasefire that was laid out. But less people are watching now, so, you know. So, like it says, meanwhile in Gaza over the weekend, and despite claims that a ceasefire remains in effect, bombings by Israel in Gaza killed and wounded dozens of people, including women, children, and police officers. Quote, we found my 3 little nieces in the street. They say ceasefire and all. What did those children do? What did we do? Samer al-Atbash, an uncle of the 3 children killed in Gaza City, told Reuters. That's insane. That breaks my heart. Critics of Schumer's leadership took his comments Sunday as yet more confirmation that his relentless and unquestioning support for Israel despite the genocide in Gaza, the enormous drop in public support for U.S. support of the Israeli government's policies, as a sign that he remains far out of step with the general public and party membership, especially younger Democrats. But again, these younger Democrats are looking to work their way into an institutional system that is broken beyond belief. We need new parties. It's past the point of fixing what's going on there, because it's not just like one role, right? This is across the board. Talking about politicians with stakes in the stock market, right? There's far too much unregulated capital exchange in the government. Period. A reminder that the vast majority of Democratic voters don't agree with this, either this being his job description or aid to Israel itself, which is why Schumer should not be leader of the Democrats in the Senate, said journalist Mehdi Hassan. No, that is not your job, declared Saikat Chakrabarti, a Bay Area progressive running for a seat in the U.S. House in California in this year's primary. Quote, 75% of Democratic voters oppose sending Israel more military aid, as do 66% of independents and 60% of Americans overall, noted Dylan Williams, Vice President for Government Affairs at the Center for International Policy in response to the clip. Schumer may use his position as leader to push for more aid to Israel, but he should not misunderstand that to be part of the job Democrats entrusted to him. Progressive organizer Aaron Regenberg, in a social media response, listed jobs a Senate Democratic leader should have, which include fight Trump/fascism, help Democrats win back power, pass policy to help working people, and compared to, quote, jobs a Senate Democratic leader shouldn't fight, being fight for all the aid that Israel needs. That's just not the job, Regenberg said. Schumer needs to resign. Yes, AIPAC money indeed, Lily. AIPAC money indeed. Yeah, it's crazy how many people see Iron Man is awesome yet support Israel. Ajax, 100%. Yeah, people, the media that people enjoy don't necessarily line up with their morals, right? I don't know. I feel like that happens all the time where there's cognitive dissonance. It's like right wingers who listen to Rage Against the Machine and are like, yeah, I'm sorry, this is not about woke shit. It's no, it's literally about Native American revolution. That's what that's what they're all about. So they simply do not understand. Now, our last story for the night, gang, before we wrap things up, I want to talk about the Kennedy Center, okay? The Kennedy Center, as you know, has recently had Trump's name slapped on it. And in doing that, basically everyone's like, fuck you, I'm not going to play at the Kennedy Center anymore, okay? Everyone's like, I'm not doing that. And then, I don't know if you guys... I get shit all the time from the Kennedy Center on my socials just because, I work in the arts and stuff outside of this job. So I get a lot of arts-related news articles. And every artist that's been, supposed to play at the Kennedy Center is gone now. Ben Folds was the director of the Kennedy Center. That's dope, Akari. I'm actually, at my job, Ben Folds is doing a concert with us, with our orchestra, not far from, later in a couple months from now. So I will probably film Ben Folds a little bit. So that'll be cool. Lily, yeah, it's been not that. It's been a couple months. Bruce Springsteen, yeah. Tom, I heard about Bruce Springsteen with Tom Morello. I'm not even the biggest Springsteen fan, as a Jersey boy. I don't even really like Bruce Springsteen, but I like him as a person. He seems like he's been on his shit. And obviously, if Tom Morello's cool with him, Tom Morello's, he knows what he's doing. I trust him. But Bruce Springsteen's been pretty vocal, so that's cool. That's really cool. Ajax, he's a little boy. People didn't want to play in his sandbox, so he shuts it down. Yeah, exactly. I mean, beyond that, they're going to renovate it and stuff. So I think it's trying to be like a more permanent fixture in his name, which is insane. So the Kennedy Center is to close for 2 years following artistic cancellations, and Trump announced that the Washington, D.C. institution will be closed for renovations. Okay? Likely to destroy this too, although I don't think it'll be an AI data center. I think it will just be his arts propaganda wing or whatever, The Kennedy Center will be closed for 2 years beginning July 4th, wrote President Trump in a Truth Social post on February 1st. The reason, wrote Trump, renovations. I've determined that the Trump Kennedy Center, if temporarily closed for construction, revitalization, and complete rebuilding, can be, without question, the finest performing arts facility of its kind anywhere in the world. In other words, if we don't close, the quality of construction will be not nearly as good. It's not immediately clear to... It's not... Oh, yeah, it's illegal for him to have renamed it. It's in the charter, yeah. God help Bruce Springsteen. Yeah, he's probably having back pains, and yeah, I know. Yeah, Lily, right? He's pretty old. But I will say he seems like he's in pretty great shape for an older dude. Like, no lie. I hope when I'm as old as Bruce Springsteen, I look like, I can handle half as much shit. So it's not... He's adding a ballroom to the Kennedy Center. I know, right? I was like, I don't think he's turning this one into an AI data center. I think he's just changing this one I think he's just changing it to match more of his aesthetic and just make more of his mark on the whole thing. If he tears it down and rebuilds it, then it's more of his thing. So even if he can't keep the name on it, then at least he's changed it for good. So it's not immediately clear what Trump intends to do or what the problem areas are with the existing building. His note pointed to both renovations of the existing structure and construction of the new and spectacular entertainment complex. Playbill has reached out to the Kennedy Center for comment. And yeah, I mean, everybody in the arts world is pretty pissed about this sort of thing, In the arts world, people take things pretty sacredly. They hold things as pretty sacred. This is one of those things that they hold as to be pretty sacred. Ajax. He keeps trying to build ballroom, yet his pants need less ballroom. Fantastic. I'm pretty sure he just shit his pants in that meeting, too, the other day, which is amazing. So though Trump did not mention it, the announcement comes after a wave of artists have canceled their engagements at the Washington, D.C. institution, a result of his takeover on the institution last year and installing himself as chairman of the board. Most recently, composer Philip Glass canceled the world premiere of his Symphony No. 15, a tribute to Abraham Lincoln. And if you guys don't know who Philip Glass is, he's an incredibly famous composer. I like Philip Glass. It's not everybody's cup of tea. He makes very repetitive, percussive sort of stuff. He's really cool. Why were so many artists excusing the concentration camps but draw the line at the venue? It's kind of out of touch. Confused Lizard, this is absolutely... this is something in the arts that I see all the time, quite frankly. In the arts, I feel like you get a couple different kinds of people, but the one that I find most commonly in the traditional arts, right, in the performing arts, is very liberal sort of they're basing everything off of moral posturing in a way. Maybe that's not the best way to describe it, but here's a good way to put it. There's somebody in my life who's in the arts, and they were talking about... I had not heard them say very much about Trump, or they often kind of make fun of my wife and I for being woke or whatever, when they themselves would see themselves as liberal, but they just think we're too much. But their I hadn't heard them say anything about Trump until he said to that woman on the airplane, like, he called her a piggy or something, right? Of course, an incredibly fucked up thing to do. But, like, of all the things that this motherfucker has done that you're gonna complain about, because there's a lot. We should be complaining about a lot. We should be talking about a lot. But the thing that really got you is just like, you know, they were talking about it. They're like, why didn't anybody stand up for him? Or not? Why didn't anybody stand up to him? Why didn't anybody say, hey, that's not right? It's like, is this really this is really the thing where it's like, yeah, there's a million things that he does that you should stand up and say, hey, that's not right too. You know? I understand why the press people aren't necessarily saying something right then. You know? Akari, so Akari says something. Artists often have wealthy benefactors that they don't want to piss off. Those benefactors are rarely socially progressive. Akari, you're right on the money. 1,000%. One thing that you have to understand about a lot of these places are, you know, like, I work for an orchestra. An orchestra is a nonprofit, or the orchestra I work for at least is a nonprofit, right? We have a board. They fund a lot of stuff, right? We have other donors that fund a lot of stuff. And almost none of the people that are on the board are progressive. They're mostly Trump voters. Now, they're polite enough, especially to your face, you know. They're mainly misinformed, you know. So, Lily, yeah, don't forget to support indie/underground arts 100%. 100%. I used to, and you know what? Actually, I'll have them on the show. I'll have them on the show one day because I did an opera with Monet Exchange, the drag queen, not long ago, and you know, I filmed it and concepted it and everything, and I did it with one of my friends who does art, specifically, you know, queer art, and elevates them and used to transform unused spaces in the city into art galleries for these. So yeah, there's like this political thing behind it. Like, you know, if you look to who the CEO of the Kennedy Center is right now, they're supporting everything with Trump. They're with it, you know? So you might have a whole orchestra of people who are socially progressive in a way, and then, you know, a couple board members who are racists or whatever they are. And it's hard for those things to live together a lot of times. Oh, one of your high school mates, Angela Menino, is an opera singer. She sings at the Met in New York City. Akari, I have to look them up because I do go to the Met with my wife because my wife's an opera singer. So, you know, I go there from time to time. Angela Menino. And my father-in-law's a conductor and everything, so they know all this stuff. I'm going to look that up. So yeah, this is a very interesting thing in the arts. So yeah, Car, you were right on the money with that. The benefactors of the arts are traditionally wealthy people. And in big cities like New York, you know, I work for like a small orchestra, you know. I mean, we're a full-size orchestra, we're a state orchestra, but we, compared to other ones, like our endowment is like nothing. It's 14 million, which sounds like a lot, but is nothing compared to others. Because, you know, Kermit, Tony is a soprano. But you know, these, well, where the fuck was I going? I can't even remember. Anyway, long story short, there's a complicated relationship in the arts that does need to change. I think it's critical. Especially since these places are nonprofits, you know. So anyway, so Philip Glass is great. So he had a piece called, yeah, Akari, she is Tony Soprano. Her Instagram is Tony the Soprano. And I'm sure, I don't know what, she's going to have a YouTube page coming soon she's working on. I don't know if it'll be Tony the Soprano, but that is what she goes by online a lot of times. Yeah, she goes by Tony the Soprano. And she's from New Jersey, baby. Come on. It's perfect. Nothing better. Oh, yeah. Kermit, the Fifth Element solo. I don't even know. You know, honestly, the Fifth Element, I made her watch it once, I think on like my 30th birthday or something. And I made everybody, because I was like, on my 30th birthday, I made everybody watch like all the movies I love. We watched Mamma Mia. Love that shit. We watched Fifth Element, and we watched like Killswitch Engage, Set This World Ablaze live. It was an eclectic collection. But I love that Fifth Element solo. Akari, are you a singer? You just fucking ripping that shit out? You're like, I could do some of that solo, no problem. Crazy. Yeah, we got to do like a Fifth Element watch session in the Discord one day or something. Fifth Element is so good. But now, but Chris Tucker was in the fucking Epstein files. Corbin, my man. Corbin Dallas. That's going to be crazy to go back and watch that Chris Tucker shit now. Anyway. So yeah, Philip Glass, famous composer, was going to have a world premiere of Symphony No. 15 going out there, which was a tribute to Abraham Lincoln. And then he said, you know, considering that this is about Abraham Lincoln, I don't want to, you know, release it under Trump, which is, you know, kind of funny because it's like Abraham Lincoln's intentions were not completely, you know, benevolent in every single way, malevolent, you know. Oh, Kermit, nice. You were a Barry bass. I love that. One day, I can't wait. One day we got to get the Hellion.Vision band together. Everybody's got to like contribute something to a track or something. That'd be so cool. The Washington National Opera have also announced that they will no longer perform at the Kennedy Center. Hamilton has also canceled its touring engagement at the center, and the center recently hired Kevin Couch as its senior vice president of artistic programming. Couch resigned less than 2 weeks after he was announced, and as I said on one of my posts a few days ago, I think that may be because J.D. Vance got one good look at his last name and made him uncomfortable, okay? Considering he is a couch fucker. As a result of all this turmoil, ticket sales at the center have fallen. The recent Kennedy Center honors, which Trump hosted, garnered its lowest ratings on CBS ever. Ever since he's taken over the Kennedy Center, Trump has been determined to remake the institution in his image. The board has even renamed it the Trump Kennedy Center, though Trump's name is now on the center's walls. Changing it officially requires congressional approval. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat from Rhode Island and ranking member of the Senate Environment and Public Works Committee, characterized Trump's plans as suspect and illegal, and part of the president's demolition tour of Washington, in reference to Trump tearing down the East Wing of the White House to the ballroom. Said Whitehouse, Trump illegally slapped his own name on the living memorial to the President Kennedy, literally silencing trustees who would try to speak up against it. Now, with his hostile takeover leading to artist withdrawals and declining ticket sales, he's covering up his failures by shutting a national landmark that belongs to the American people, and he's announcing it as a fait accompli before input from the board, Congress, and others as law and precedent dictate. White House has launched an investigation into the financials of the Kennedy Center, accusing the new leadership of corruption and mismanagement of the center's $268 million budget. Hot dog. White House has requested that the center's financial records, which have not been provided. Trump had previously accused the Kennedy Center's former leadership of mismanaging funds and letting the building fall into disrepair. He's since secured $257 million from Congress for capital repairs and other expenses in last year's one big, beautiful bill, much more than the institution had previously received. Kennedy Center former President Deborah Rutter, who Trump fired and replaced with Richard Grenell, denied the allegations. In an interview last year, she said perhaps those now in charge are facing significant financial gaps and are seeking to attribute them to past management, which would include the Board of Trustees, some of whom were appointed by President Trump in his previous term. This malicious attempt to distort the facts, which were consistently, transparently, and readily available in professionally audited financial reports, recklessly disregards the truth. Oh, done deal. Fait accompli. Very nice. Feat accomplished. Okay. Like that. Oh, Ajax, you played Barry sax? I always wanted to play Barry sax. That's like my instrument that I always wanted to play. Barry Sachs, because funky. So yeah, this is what's going on at the Kennedy Center right now. It is falling apart. Trump is breaking everything, including the arts, which is pretty crazy. You know, you'd think that that's the kind of thing. Oh, yeah, Lily, so what does a board do? So a board, like, okay, in this case, the Kennedy Center is like a nonprofit, right? And it belongs to the American people. And the orchestra I work for is a nonprofit. So that means there's a board of rich people who, like, have a stake in how the orchestra does. And they fund a lot of what the orchestra does. So they might pay for, like, you know, for example, in the orchestra I work for, if you're the like lead violin or something, they might give X amount of dollars per year to the orchestra to have their names on that violin chair. So like when you are reading anything that involves the first violin or the concert master or something, it instead of just being like concert master John Poopman, it's going to be like the, you know, Betsy and Bobby Billwork. That's the name I made up for them. I don't know why. Chair. You know, of the section leader. So yeah, they don't make any money. They give their money. However, their input is like critical, and you basically have to please them. And like the CEO of the company can be like fired basically by the board if they don't like the way that they're doing things. So you're like beholden to them, and they could leave at any time and pull their funding and that sort of stuff, right? So Trump, you know, technically can't do any of this stuff without the approval of the board. So he's going around them. And not only that, since it is a national Center for the Arts, he needs congressional approval. So, like, there's multiple layers. Yeah. It's just like the Met, Lily. It's the same exact thing. 100% like the Met. And it's likely the same as, like, you know, I'm sure the big theaters in West End and stuff, like, you know, whatever the big theaters out there are, sure it's the very same thing. You know, wherever you are, anywhere, there's usually a board, especially for the arts, you know. That's why, like, yeah, he's treating the board like, I mean, he's disregarding everything, you know. You know, avoid the board like you want to cheat at chess. That's perfect. So yeah, that's kind of, you know, he's trying to go around everything. There's people who are going to be upset about it, you know, but this is the way it is right now. Ultimately, like, of all the things he's doing, this is like relatively not that important. I mean, you know, the arts are incredibly important, but like the institutional arts, the way they stand now, need to be absolutely rehauled. So this is not a good thing, but it's definitely interesting to see how this is going to end up playing out. But that's where we'll leave it for tonight, gang. This is there's just so much Epstein stuff. I'm glad Thursday's going to be a gaming night, okay? We're going to continue our journey on Pathologic 2. So come and join that. Also, I think we might do like an hour. I started this new game that was kind of neat, and I was like, I might want to save it for you guys. It's called Skate Story, and it's like this skating game, kind of, but it's like a narrative game. It's very interesting. We'll maybe play it for like a half hour, an hour on the next stream and see if we like it in addition to our Pathologic 2 gameplay. All right? So stick around for that. Again, if you have not checked out my latest video, please check that out. Also, we have a Discord. If you are new to the stream and you are not in the Discord yet, I'm going to drop a link for that because the Discord is so much fun. It's honestly where I really love to go and spend my time now and unwind, because everybody's just made it so cool. So let me drop that link in the chat if anybody wants to join us. We have a good time. Yeah, Skate Story has been kind of neat. I don't know if we'll make it to day 2. We'll see. Pathologic 2 is obviously wants to hurt me. Oh, will I be Tony Hawk for the skating bit? Man, I kind of have to be now, right? I got to be the Birdman, right? How could I not be the Birdman? Or let Tony cosplay as Tony Hawk. Wait, Tony Hawk. All right, I got to talk to her about that. There's no way she would want to. Tony Hawk is not as relevant as a human to her as it is to me, but gosh, I hope so. Tony Hawk would be amazing. All right, everybody. Eagleman. All right, gang. Have a great night. Get some sleep, okay? If it's late where you are. If it's early where you are, get some sun, okay? I love you guys. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. I will see you on the next one. Be on the lookout. New video essay coming out. Support that last one, but check out that new one. Will be here soon enough. Hopefully this week. But if not this week, then you'll have a new song and video essay for next week. All right, everybody. Toodaloo.